Now at 6, the SEK Humane Society faces a deep quarantine from a parvo outbreak. A local expert offers advice on keeping our pets safe. Plus, Mercy Joplin hosts a picnic celebrating patients who beat cancer. And memories from sports director Jacob Leonard's 10-year career at KOAM.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
If you have a puppy, you want to listen up. Parvo is going around the area. This is KOAM News at 6. I'm Dow Quick. Parvo is a highly contagious virus that affects mainly dogs. The uptick in cases means the SEK Humane Society in Pittsburgh is currently in a deep quarantine. Enhanced cleaning measures are needed to keep the parvo virus out. Jasmine Kyle with the SEK Humane Society says we should have our pets vaccinated as early as possible so they can build up that defense.
Because when this hits, it is a heavy hit. Some of the signs that you will see with the parvovirus mimics others too. From Lagarthe, is my dog just tired today? Is he a little sad, right? And then it goes into them not eating too much, right? Into vomiting. Maybe they got into something, right? And then you take that week, you make a week of that appointment. And then the next day it's diarrhea and bloody, and then they're gone.
Dogs can start receiving the parvo vaccine as young as 6 weeks old. If your dog gets the virus, treatment often means stays at the vet. Stay away from wild animals. That's the message after folks in national parks interfered with a baby bison and a young elk. Southwest Missouri has its own bison herd at Prairie State Park near Minden Mines. Park naturalist Dana Hoisington says they like to give the wild animals as much space as possible.
We have a real hands-off policy. We work the bison once a year. We do a veterinary check on them once a year. Other than that, Mother Nature takes its course. And it's important that they have that ability to be wild.
If you'd like to learn more about Prairie State Park's bison herd, you can sign up for the monthly Bison Saunter. It's typically held on the first Saturday of the month. Summer weather is here, and local experts are warning about the dangers of hot playgrounds, from the actual equipment to the heat itself. One tip: try to avoid the direct sun by going to parks and playgrounds with lots of trees for shade. Also, be aware that certain playground materials can conduct a lot of heat.
Right now, with it being summer, we have obviously the direct sunlight can be dangerous for a child going out there. They can get dehydrated, they can get sunburnt, but also the playground itself, most of them are made out of metals, and those conduct heat. So even if it doesn't feel hot to you on the outside, when you go and touch those playground pieces, those can be super hot.
Heat exhaustion is the first sign of heat stroke. You want to make sure your child stays hydrated to beat the heat. Cooper says Pedialyte and popsicles are great options to keep your kids hydrated, along with foods with lots of water like applesauce. More than heat going on there right now. Chloe Arroyo joins us with the first look at the weather.
I'm getting flashbacks now of those metal slides when I was little. My goodness, when it gets hot, it gets real hot. So we've got a couple of storms coming along this line. It's a cold front that we're beginning to see, so we're starting to cool down just a hair. We had a severe thunderstorm warning for Bourbon and Crawford County that has since expired just moments ago, but we're still keeping an eye on it. We're also keeping an eye on this little isolated cell around the Sedan and Chautauqua area right now. It's all moving south-southeast as it stands, so we're keeping an eye on that, and so we'll continue to update you guys on that. Now, coming up here in a bit, we're going to talk about that marginal threat for some severe weather into this weekend. The next couple of days, it'll be the same setup. We'll also update you on the air quality update that we're continuing to track, and thunderstorms next week. I'll have all of those details and more coming up in a bit.
Okay, thanks. Support staters were enjoying the summer weather today until rain canceled Family Safety Night in Iola, Kansas. Look at this. This is a live look at the current weather at the Neosho River. Now, we originally sent our photojournalist Friends Wallace to cover Family Safety Night, but it was canceled due to the weather. Friends says the river was low, but because of the rain, the water level is visibly rising. The event helps support youth, families, teachers, and community members by promoting healthy eating habits. It also teaches kids and families about public safety, how to call 911, drug awareness, and what to do in the event of bad weather. For all you music lovers out there, Music in the Park is back tonight in Parsons, Kansas at Forest Park. Ty Ellis and Stone Country are performing. Music starts at 7:30 p.m. and Outsiders Taco will be there to help fight your hunger. A picnic this afternoon celebrated a group of superheroes that aren't recognized every day. KOAM's Anthony Saviello has that story.
What do you think of when you think of superheroes? Sometimes, all it takes to be a superhero is to go through one of life's toughest battles: cancer.
Last year, I went and had a 3D breast mammogram, and they found a very, very small invasive carcinoma almost up against my chest wall.
Mercy Cancer Center celebrated survivors like Kathy Warren and those who helped them fight their battle.
My whole family have been there to support me. They've taken care of me after the surgeries, and it's kind of a learning process for them.
Whit Sanders, the director of radiation oncology at Mercy.
For us, all the patients are superheroes, and you start asking patients, they'll tell you that the doctors and nurses and other staff who take care of them, they're superheroes. So everybody gets to be a superhero.
Superheroes indeed. But I like the word that Kathy uses a little bit more.
The nurse navigator here, Christina, is an angel. The first time I met her, I knew she was my angel.
So, no matter what word you want to use, I think we can all agree you don't have to wear a cape to be a hero. Reporting in Joplin, Anthony Saviello, KOAM News.
The picnic is a yearly event. The Mercy Cancer Center is open Monday through Friday for those in need of assistance or who just have questions. The Crowder College Technical Education Center in Neosho is offering hands-on opportunities for middle schoolers this summer. 125 students entering 6th through 8th grade from the Diamond, East Newton, Neosho, and Seneca districts can pick 4 out of 5 skills to learn. They can choose to learn more about agriculture, computer science, construction, health science, and teacher preparation.
At school, you learn math, English, and stuff, but here, you get to learn things that normal school doesn't teach you, like how to build stuff and how different things work.
Students can learn CPR, also have fun building toothpick bridges and making cheese, among other activities that are offered in that camp. The summer school happens until June 23rd at the Del Reed Technical Education Center on the Neosho campus. We share some memories with an old friend next. Goodbyes are never easy. They're harder with old friends. Jacob Leonard has been with KOAM for 10 years, sports director for the last 8. He's moving on now to pursue a new opportunity, but first, Jacob and I sat down to relive some moments and renew some memories. Jacob Leonard, 10 years ago, you were a kid, a little bit baby-faced. You had hair that was not just on your chin.
I remember 2 things from when I started here. I remember walking into this studio and thinking, oh, they only see what you're supposed to see when it's on TV. There are so many cables and lights and other things around here. And the second thing I remember, the first time I walked into the studio, because I had grown up in Southeast Kansas and watched you and Doug on TV, I remember thinking, those are their actual voices. Those aren't put on news voices. And I remember thinking, how cool is this? And working here with you guys, I thought, that's Dow Quick and Doug Hetty. Do not screw this up. News was not what I got into this business for, and I'm not gonna lie, I don't think I was very good at it.
The new system will cost the city about $500,000, while others say that stands in the city limits would be more convenient.
And it wasn't just as a news reporter. You eventually got experience doing weather.
Most of us sitting right now around 30 degrees cooler than what we saw yesterday.
You wanted to drift into sports. Why is that?
I tell this story all the time. When I was in high school, one of my basketball highlights made it on this station, and I remember thinking that was one of the coolest things that's ever happened to me, and it meant so much to me. And to know that I had the possibility to do that for other kids and so many kids in the area, I thought that sounds like something I want to do.
So that was a teenage Jacob Leonard.
Yeah, I think
as a sports highlight.
Funny part is, my name wasn't on the roster. So they said, this guy's name isn't on the roster, but nice move. And so it was still cool, even though, it wasn't my name. It was my highlight. June 2015, it feels like the start of like a new life for me, because I became the sports director here. And, within a week, my son arrived. I have a 7-year-old son now who's about to turn 8. And so, yeah, it was a new job, the job that I wanted, and having my first child. So looking back, that was, the start of a whole new journey for me, both professionally and personally.
And in fact, Keaton, now about to turn 8, as you say, is part of the reason that you're moving on from this position. Maybe you could explain that.
He's starting to be out there playing soccer and playing basketball and playing baseball, and it's hard for me to be out covering other people's kids and highlighting other people's kids and being at other games when I know my own son is playing somewhere else, and I only get one shot really to be a dad and to be there and to be the best I can at that. And it's important. It's as important as this job is to me. That's more important to me at this point.
You talk about the memorable moments out on the field. There have also been a lot of memorable moments that have occurred right here in this building.
Yeah, I've had a lot of memorable moments in this building, and some of them have been pretty funny.
Johnny, hold on, man. Let me do my sports, okay? Why is that?
Cue Jacob Leonard.
I've worked with a lot of great people here who have made it memorable and a lot of fun.
And I know you've mentioned there are a lot of people you'd like to thank.
My wife and my son, they've allowed me to do this job at the level that I've wanted to do it at this whole time, and that does mean a lot of time away from home and a lot of miles on the road. So, thanking my wife and my son for what I've been able to do the last 8 years, it starts there. And so many coaches and athletes have been so helpful. I appreciate, getting to work with people like you and Doug. Like I said, I grew up watching you guys, and to share the desk with you guys in this time, I've learned a lot, not just professionally, but personally about, being a good professional and being a dad, and it's meant a lot to me. I just hope people take away the fact that I cared, like I legitimately cared about this job, and I cared about them. And I hope they take away, that the effort that we put into to make sure girls and women's sports were covered equally here. That's meant a lot to me in my time here. For whatever they think I might have done for them, they paid it back so much more than anything I could have done for them, with just the happiness and the fun and the joy I've had on this job and the anticipation of coming to work every day that they've given me. I know I'm always going to be, a part of the station here, and always going to be a part of KOAM, and KOAM and you guys and our viewers here are always going to be part of my life. And I look forward to seeing you guys and to seeing everybody out and about. I still hope people come up and want to visit and want to talk about sportsmithing from here on out.
Now, Jacob's going to join us here on the set live in person a little bit later to tell us more about his plans and for a final goodbye. But first, Chloe's up next with weather.
Well, it was bittersweet seeing that interview from Jacob, and I also didn't know he did weather one time. It was so sweet. Let's take a look at our Indigo Sky Casino and Resort just west of Seneca, Missouri. A couple clouds hanging around. That sun is shining, warming us up as well. Those storms are hanging around a little to the north and east. But we got a new picture in. This is from Raymond Sword. This is the severe warned storm this afternoon around 3 p.m. This was for Barton and Jasper counties. And you can see this cell right here, this cumulonimbus cloud with the rain falling down from that. That's a beautiful view from where he was right there. So we're still tracking some scattered showers and storms pretty much along this cold front right here. It's a pretty prominent line. This one storm was at one point severe warned, but expired at 6 p.m. So we're still keeping an eye on it, but it has dissipated quite a bit. They're seeing a lot of rainfall, and it looks like we might even see an aerial flood advisory for these counties eventually. That might pop up pretty soon here. So we're also seeing in Chautauqua County this cell right here. It's not severe by any means, but we're still tracking that. because it's slowly starting to develop a little bit. So we'll be in the studio keeping an eye out on that. Let's look at this cold front above all. The majority of the storms are along this cold front right here. Temperatures along this cold front on one side are in the upper 70s, Joplin even at 80, but we're still in the 90s if you haven't reached that cold front yet. So it is a pretty strong temperature gradient along with that. Taking a look at 7th and Range Line, temperatures for Joplin, once again 80 degrees. It's a little hazy out there. So we still have those air quality alerts going on, and it's really prominent for the Northeast and New York especially. We're still seeing some of those effects in our area as well. We have a couple of reports, one in Miami, around the Joplin area, as well as just around the Nevada area, pretty unhealthy for some sensitive groups as well. So if you have those upper respiratory issues, stay pretty prevalent, or stay cautious of that into the afternoon, and the next couple of days as well. We could see that continue to persist. So here's a forecast look. So we'll see a break after this evening, scattered showers and storms. We'll see a break into Friday morning, and then we'll see our next chance for some isolated showers and storms later on into Friday night into early Saturday morning. That's when we're going to see those prevalent and more widespread storms. Some could be strong. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a couple of severe warned storms with this as well. We'll get a little bit of a break, and then we'll see even more of a break into Saturday evening. We'll have that southerly wind as well, warming us up into the 80s just a bit. And then we'll see another chance mainly for southeastern Kansas. That'll be early Sunday morning before we see once again another break. So we'll see some waves of precipitation the next couple of days. Some could be strong, some could be severe here and there. Saturday will be the most prominent day for that. It'll taper off on Sunday morning before we get a break. On Monday, we'll see another chance for some showers and storms Tuesday and Wednesday. And then we'll warm right up into the 90s Friday, Saturday, and even throughout the next weekend.
Obviously, no one wants the severe stuff, but boy, those who are fortunate enough to be getting some rain right now, we're very glad to have it.
We need it.
Yeah, we need some more. Thanks, Chloe. Coming up, a Lenexa, Kansas woman is reunited with her tortoise nearly a year after it ran away. Sort of ran, but how did it run away? We'll tell you. Kansas woman might have new appreciation for how the tortoise beat the hare in that storybook race. Her tortoise is back home after 9 months on the lam. Peyton Headley reports their reunion near Kansas City is thanks to a little boy.
Hello, dear.
Meet Frederica the tortoise.
She does go pretty fast.
Frederica lives in Lenexa with her owner, Jan.
They're kind of cool. They don't do any tricks or anything.
But Frederica does have a trick.
This is not her first rodeo.
The 17-year-old Russian tortoise is quite the escape artist.
Apparently, she was more clever than me.
9 months ago, Jan gave Frederica free roam of the fenced-in backyard. Frederica found a way out.
She found a gap underneath my bay window where she could just go, hasta la vista, baby.
So Jan started searching.
I hit social media, hot and heavy.
She offered a $400 reward, hung up posters all over Johnson County. She even had a bloodhound search the woods behind her house. Jan had just about lost hope until May 20th of this year.
I turned around and then I saw the tortoise walking.
Just a few houses down, 7-year-old Henry Miles spotted her.
It looked like it wasn't from around here.
Henry knew Frederica had been missing.
How'd she even lose it is my question.
So he and his parents gave Jan a call.
I was at work and they all thought I won the lottery because I yelled.
Now, Jan is reunited with her tortoise.
Here she is.
Henry got that $400 reward.
$200 is going into savings and $200 is spent.
Frederica is still working on her next escape.
Wow, Frederica has scratches on her shell and eye. According to Langston, the vet thinks a raccoon or a dog attacked her, but she's going to be fine. We'll be right back for a final chat with Jacob next. Here's a look at what's coming up on KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. The Joplin Public Library hosts its annual Iconic Joplin Awards. We're going to check out the event. Plus, federal health officials testified before Congress about the youth mental health crisis and how some phone brands are cashing in on a push among young people toward flip phones. Yeah, maybe those are coming back. Those stories A lot more tonight. KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. We promised that Jacob Leonard was going to join us live and in person out here on the set before we said our final goodbyes. It's funny, Jacob, when you look ahead to 10 years, it seems like forever, and then when you look back, it just disappears.
Yeah, it's overwhelming. I've tried to keep my head down and focus on what I'm doing every day, but the last few days, you take a moment to kind of look back at everything I've been able to do here, and so many of the messages I've gotten from people, it's a little overwhelming.
We told people about what's happened in your career here over 10 years, briefly. Tell us about what's ahead for you and your family.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm going to go work at Pittsburgh State. I'm going to be in the athletics department there as an associate athletic director for fan engagement. So, trying to make it a cool atmosphere when people come out to Pitt State games. Trying to tell stories of the athletes there so people, want to come out and check that out. So, yeah, I will just be down the road.
We will see you around. We had a party, a bit fun this afternoon. We had some cake. We said some goodbyes. We'll be saying another goodbye a bit tonight at 9 and 10, but gosh, we're going to miss you.
I appreciate it. I just want to say a quick thank you to all of our viewers over this time. The love you guys have shown me has been really overwhelming, and I appreciate it.
I'm sure they feel it for you as well. We'll see you at 10. Let's make it a great evening.